Khonto Wesizwe has appointed arguably the most experienced law practitioner in South Africa right now, the former judge president of the Western Cape, John Hlophe. This has shocked a lot of people. Many people are unhappy. Is this a good move for the MK party? On the other hand, we've got Nomsa Masuku, the commissioner of the IEC, who was arrested by the Hawks for corruption. They said the commissioners of the IEC are clean. What now? On the other hand, we've got the Freedom Front Plus party that says they've got an agreement, a signed agreement with the Northern Cape government, where the Northern Cape government has agreed to further recognize Orania as an independent, I don't know what. What is going on here? Let's talk about that and much more.
Welcome to King Said So, Africa's one land, one language, one currency, one army on King Said So. Africans can unite. Your Pan-Africanist podcast. Enjoy.
Peace in Pan-Africanism to all my African brothers and sisters from all around the world. Welcome back to King Said So. I'm your host, King053, Mr. Easy Imali, Eneng, and we're back at it again with another one. This time around, we're covering three topics. John Hlophe, the MK political party, Nomsa Masuku, the IEC commissioner. Then we've got the Freedom Front Plus having an agreement with the provincial government of Northern Cape. I don't know. Hi, Nkosiyam. All right, let's start with John Hlophe. John Hlophe is, like I said, arguably the most experienced person to come and talk about the constitution, to talk about law. When it comes to law practitioner, we can't find many people, if any, above this man when it comes to the pedigree, the experience, the qualifications, you name it. You know, the man, I believe, is in his mid-60s now, still has energy to serve our country. You remember in the case of Busisiwe Mkhwebane, when Busisiwe Mkhwebane was impeached by the parliament, and the same parliament to see her, I think barely a month later, the EFF saved her and brought her in. The expertise and all the wealth of knowledge that Busisiwe Mkhwebane had, they brought her in to become a member of parliament for the EFF. She was also mistreated in some committees. There was a committee where she was sitting in, where she had to give her expertise when it comes to the public protector's office. And then the ANC said, no, you will not be able to separate. You will not be able to separate your experience with the advocate Kuleka, and the public protector's office. So you have to sideline. They use their majority to sideline Busisiwe Mkhwebane. I think the same is going to be done when it comes to the former head judge, John Hlophe. They're going to try and marginalize his movement in parliament, because they're going to say, no, you are conflicted because you have got an experience with this person, that person, you rule over this judgment, this and that. They're going to do that, especially when it comes to matters that pertain the DA party. Now, mainstream media is not happy with John Hlophe. They're trying to make us hate him, like, oh, this man was just impeached now. We can't let such people in parliament. When we've got criminals in parliament, former criminals, former fraudsters, people with cases on their head and all of that, but we must be angry at John Hlophe. That is what mainstream media is trying to do right now. Let's listen to their views and listen carefully, guys. Listen carefully. And you can hear umuntu when they are told to do something. This person is told to try and push a negative narrative about former Judge John Hlophe.
Because when you were talking about this particular matter, that they may have to bring in some sufficient reasonings and all of that, there are some who are saying that this is not a good look for the country. I was still saying, Prof, before we took the Secretary General of the UN, that some are saying that it's not a good look, particularly when you look at how he left his office and the years that, he has faced some serious allegations against him, including some of his conduct, particularly in that court of the Western Cape. So some are saying that bringing him back in this particular matter in Parliament, such a critical institution, for them, it doesn't set the right tone. What do you say to that?
My first response will be those people are hypocrites. Because if they were fair and honest, they would have made the same statement when we re-elected President Cyril Ramaphosa to lead the country, when he still has a cloud, the Pala cloud over his head. If you are really serious about cleaning government and then cleaning our institutions, we have to do that consistently. You recall that the manner in which Judge Hlophe was removed was similar to what happened to Advocate Busiswe Mkhwebane.
John Hlophe, who was impeached as the Western Cape Judge President, is the designated leader for the Umkhonto weSizwe Party in Parliament. The former provincial judge president has confirmed to SABC News that he will indeed be leading the country's third largest party in the National Assembly. However, the 58 MK members who were scheduled to be sworn in the National Assembly's first sitting last Friday did not attend, and this sitting saw the election of the Speaker, the Deputy Speaker, and even the President. The 58 seats allocated to the MK party remain theirs. Hlophe's confirmation that he will lead the party in the national legislature could signal the imminent swearing in of MK party members. To further this discussion, let's welcome Professor Nania Bola-Muller, who's a divisional executive at the Human Sciences Research Council. So, Prof, a very good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for joining us. What do you make of Dr. Hlophe moving to Parliament now as a party leader? Is this even allowed in the current constitution?
Well, as far as we know, he hasn't got a criminal record. He's been impeached. And I don't think there are any rules about this. And also there's a precedent that's been set because our former public prosecutor was impeached by Parliament and then she became a member of Parliament for the EFF. So I think Parliament will have to look at its rules a little bit more carefully. Because besides laws and rules, you also have to look at ethics in public office. And it is rather disturbing, I think, to have someone who was impeached only in February of this year coming back to the same Parliament that impeached him. And one wonders about the kinds of conflicts of interest that would arise in such cases.
Hearing the ladies speak from SABC and newsroom, you can hear these people are trying to push a certain narrative. I don't even want to speak about ENCA, that news outlet, that media is owned by Johan Rupert. So I don't even want to touch that one. I don't even watch that rubbish here, ENCA. It's total rubbish. Don't waste your time watching ENCA. Total rubbish, total white monopoly capitalists. That's why they are pushing. These two bad try sometimes, they try sometimes. But anyway, now, body, you can just see there is a narrative that they are pushing. They are not neutral in their reporting. So we must be careful as South Africans, to read between the lines as why is these people trying to push this type of narrative. That's why you have YouTube channels that are free. We are not bought, not sponsored by anyone. We don't have salaries from anyone. We are just here to speak the truth as we see it. So nobody can then, after a video dropped, can call me except for my legal representative. They can call me and tell me, King, don't say that, don't do that. Once they made me delete a video. They said that video can be used in court against you because you will not be able to bring those weaknesses you're talking about. So, we have those situations. But the podcast space has taken over media because the mainstream media simply don't want to report the truth. They don't want to. So you as an African person have to read between the lines, be objective, and make sure that you are You are clear, you've got a clear mind when you are listening to these people. Otherwise, if you don't do your own research, you're going to end up believing everything that mainstream media does and says. Another narrative that mainstream media has pushed for us and forced it down our throat is that the commissioners of the IEC are so clean. They're so clean, man. You can't find anything wrong about the chairperson, Musoto. You can't find anything wrong. They were talking so nice, flowing so nice. And we know deep down in our hearts that these are humans. Corruption can get them also. They are humans. We can smell it, man. Even though we can't prove it. You know when you know your partner is cheating, but because of the behavioral change and everything, but you can't prove it. You can't prove it. And you're like, I don't know, but there's a feeling. We get that feeling. For us as Africans, we call it the discernment spirit. We've got a discernment spirit. We can discern when someone walks in the room with we can tell, man. We can tell. But now they told us we should not think like that. And boom, the Hawks have arrested Nomsa Masuku, a commissioner of the IEC. Was involved in in corruption. I don't care if it was at Standard Bank or whatever. This is a corrupt individual.
IEC Commissioner Dr. Nomsa Masuku has been arrested by the Hawks and appeared at the Johannesburg Specialized Commercial Crimes Court on charges of fraud relating to 1.2 million rand. Masuku is said to have siphoned the funds during her time at Standard Bank while heading the bank's school bursary scheme. Investigations found that Masuku manipulated documents to award scholarships to friends and families instead of deserving applicants. We speak now to Hawk spokesperson Colonel Katleho Mohale. Colonel Mohale, thank you so much for joining us on Daytime Update. Tell us more about this case. When was it first investigated?
Good afternoon, Martha. This case began in 2014 following an internal investigation at Standard Bank. Once they realized that there has been some graft that happened during the tenure of Dr. Masuku, they then handed over the docket to the Hawks investigators for further probe and to register a case docket of fraud.
So it's taken about 10 years for this case. For the Hawks, how much work went into it? It must have been quite a bit over the decade period.
Yes, currently we are at a space where we are quite confident that what has been discovered will stand firm in court, and we are not ruling out the possibility that more suspects will be arrested.
Now there you hear it, ladies and gentlemen. You see, mainstream media was there to try and push a narrative that the people who are commissioners in the IEC are angels. It's not the first time I speak about it. We've got Miss Hlophe, who was chased away from elections day in Africa to say, listen, go away. 3 opposition parties say, we don't want this woman to be part of our elections. She's corrupt. Now you've got Mama Nomsa Masuku to say, listen, this person has been working with money at Standard Bank, I believe, where she was shifting money to favor her relatives and friends. And also she deposited money into her own personal account. This person is a person, when she looks at number and looks at the process, she finds a way of going around the process to favor her. Now you tell me, South Africans, will this lady not be part of some of the people that rigged the elections of 2024? Does she not qualify as a people that have the character of rigging elections? Because mainstream media wanted to show, what can we do? If you've got an employee in your company and all of a sudden news come out that this employee from a previous employer was stealing money, and in your company she holds a position where she can steal money also, will it not be a fair judgment to say probably she also did something unlawful in the elections of 2024? Remember, we are talking about small monies here. In Standard Bank, 1.2 million. She got a 20,000 bail, 1.2 million in Standard Bank that she's been charged for or arrested for. But then you've got the the IEC that oversees the national elections, when you know that the sealed documents of Cyril Ramaphosa for the CR7 campaign contained proof that 1 billion was funded to CR7 campaign so that Cyril Ramaphosa can win the presidential race from the ANC. So if that much money can be spent for presidential race for a party, how much more will they spend for rigging elections? That woman probably has got millions in a stash somewhere, in a couch somewhere, underneath a bed somewhere. Cash. Why? Because she's got a character of stealing. That's what she does. You know, when you're working in a position and you send yourself money, how corrupt can an individual be? You know, we can't trust these people. We cannot trust. So vukani, because we as Africans, we've got a spirit of discernment. We see these things. There's something off, man. And that goes to the chairperson of the IEC. We can see, man, the way this person was pushing for the announcement of the elections. This man is pressured from somewhere. We know that. We can't prove it, yes, but we know it for sure. This person is pressured from somewhere. So I'm going to end it there with that one. I'm happy that, you know, this type of things can be used by the MK in court to further prove that even the officials of the IEC, the commissioners, cannot be trusted. There is a story going out here by the Freedom Front Plus saying that they've reached an agreement with the Northern Cape provincial government to say, you guys have to further recognize Orania. Are we not recognizing that Orania exists? And the Constitution, per the judgment of 1998, that they've got a right to self-exist because they're in private land. They can do whatever they want there. That is our stupid Constitution, you know. So I don't understand what is it that is going on here. The Northern Cape, the ANC in the Northern Cape did not get 50%. They got 49%. So Zamane Soul, the premier, needed a party that can assist them with getting over that 50% line. And I guess some people say that was the Freedom Front. The Freedom Front came with a condition to say, recognize Orania, sign here. What is going? I don't know, guys. I don't know. We have to talk about, but let's just listen to what the mainstream media was repeating on this. Reporting on this, excuse me. On recognize ganjani. Can Soweto people come and say they want to be recognized? Recognize is what?
Your party in the Northern Cape wanted Orania to be constitutionally recognized. Is that something you still want to negotiate with the ANC as part of the deal to be part of this GNU?
That negotiation has been completed. It has already been accepted by the ANC and the government in the Northern Cape. And it's not that we want to constitutionalize it. In fact, it's already been in the Constitution in Section 235 constitutionalized. So it's not a matter that it's something new. Part of the agreement there is to put emphasis on the development of the Northern Cape as a whole. The Orania issue is part of an agreement, not the whole agreement.
Okay.
And they also want to contribute in the further building of all the people in Northern Cape. To give you an example, the Premier there said to us that there are lots of communal land, and he would like to see that the expertise from Orania and all the other farmers in that region be put available to assist the farmers on the communal land. Yeah. And there's also a task team that will be established to see that we take that process forward.
All right,
so it is to the benefit of all the people in the Northern Cape.
All right, Dr. Groenewald, just help me clarify here. I had the ANC's Secretary General, Fikile Mbalula, on this show this week, and he said that's a non-negotiable for them as part of the ANC. That is against their values and what they stand for, this recognition of Orania. So when you say that that agreement has already been concluded and it's been accepted by the ANC, what exactly do you mean? What did they agree to?
Exactly what I said. We agreed to that. And a couple of weeks ago, we had discussions with the national level of the ANC, and I explicitly asked about the Northern Cape and whether they have the authority to accept or not. And it was said to us that, yes, they do have the authority to accept or not, and they did accept.
What did they accept?
Maybe,
just for clarity for our viewers, what exactly did they accept that was your condition?
The agreement that we've put forward in the Northern Cape was accept, and that agreement states, for instance, that all the documents and, for instance, court cases, where they re-emphasize the fact that they recognize those actions taken to recognize the status of Orania. So they have accepted that.
Okay, so to be clear, you are telling us this evening that the ANC has accepted to recognize Orania.
Well, as I said, yes, well, they've accepted the agreement, but let me put it very clearly. It is not for the ANC to decide whether they recognize Orania or not. It is a constitutional matter. Section 235 makes it possible for an Orania to exist. And yes, I emphasize, they did accept that the status of Orania prevailed, because you must also remember there was a court case in the 90s, late 90s, that actually recognized the status of Orania.
South Africans, this is the reason why Mkhonto Wesizwe is pushing to change the constitution. Our constitution is a piece of rubbish of a paper that works in contradictory of what it says it believes in. What is it that Orania wants from us as South Africans? What does that farm want from us? They've got their own schooling system, they've got their own currency, they've got solar panels there. It is a farm that decided that they are so racist that they don't want coloreds, black, and Indians to come anywhere close. And even if a white person is not an Afrikaner, they don't want them there. You have to be Afrikaner and you have to believe in certain things in the Bible and not in certain things. That is what they are doing in Orania. What is it that they want from the government of South Africa? That they are always saying this government is useless, this government is a rubbish, can't run the country, they can do it better. Why is it that they don't stay in their little corner and do what they want there in their little corner? Because it cannot be that our colonizers come in our land, steal our cattle, fight our great-grandparents, like kill our people, steal their surnames, steal their cultures, remove them from their spirituality, take their land, take their minerals, do whatever. And remember, AfriForum was bought fraudulently in 1991. It was brought fraudulently when the government of then knew that the ANC was coming, that a democratic election is coming. So they started selling, giving people land, giving people this and that. And then a group of individuals bought land from the Department of Water Affairs. A group of individuals bought land from the Department of Water Affairs in 1990. They bought that land. And Orania was formally established in 1991. This land, this permit, this title deed of this land is fraudulent. We can take that land if we've got a willing government like the MK Party and the EFF. We can take that land back. We can remove those people there. But this constitution that we have says they've got a right to do whatever they are doing. Okay, fine. Then do what you are doing. Don't bother us with your nonsense. What is this nonsense that is going on? Take that land that you have fraudulently bought, Develop it and do whatever you want to do, and breathe and teach white children to hate black people. Do whatever you want to do there. But remember, you are in South Africa. Remember that one at the back of your head. Our government is simply tolerating this nonsense. How embarrassing is it? I was speaking to a Nigerian friend of mine who's in the USA and explaining, because they wanted to understand what is Orania, what is going on. He's confused when he watches the videos on YouTube. He said, "Man, let me call King." I was just speaking to him not so long ago on WhatsApp, and he says, "Listen, I don't understand, my brother. What is Orania? Why are you people allowing this?" I said, "Hey, my brother, you wouldn't understand. I stay not too far from Orania. In a year, I would pass Orania maybe 3 or 4 times, because I work in that region. I work for the Department of Agriculture, so I know land. I understand land here in the Northern Cape. So I don't understand what more freedoms, what more recognition that do these people want. These settlers want to form a country within a country. Settlers, not Basotho people, not Baswati people. Settlers want to. These people come from Europe. Before 1994, they never called themselves Africans. After 1994, they called themselves Africans. But this particular group of Orania are South Africans that never wanted to mix with the rest from 1994. Remember, I said it was established in 1991, bought in 1990, from the Department of Water Affairs, a department selling to a group of people land to, okay, we hear what you are saying, take this land, be self-determined on this land. But today they want to someone, because maybe I'm too slow, someone go in the comment section and explain to me what is it that these people want. Hi corner guys. All right, anyway, so thank you so much guys for tuning in, and thanks to everyone that has subscribed to African Mojolo with King. Actually, I'm enjoying myself on that channel a little bit too much. I'm enjoying myself there, speaking about relationship and how it affects us as Africans, and the attitude and morals and the direction that we should, an approach that we should attack relationship, advice to one another as Africans, because we don't speak anymore about relationship advices. The churches are failing us, our parents are failing us. People are not saying, but this thing is wrong, this is not African, the way you are doing things, you're going to end up falling as people. That is why we have got that channel, African Mojolo, with your boy King. So if you enjoy those type of things, go there, subscribe, click the like button, leave your thoughts on the comment section. We'll talk there as we are building each other that side. And here, thank you so much for everyone that has click the subscribe button. Thank you to all my members. I never give you guys enough recognition. All the members of the channel, those who are paying 20 rand per month and all of that, really, to be honest, that those monies don't infiltrate properly to our account. YouTube takes a lot of those monies, but you know, for the contribution that you guys are having on this channel, thank you. All my private investigators who are bombasting my email and bombasting my WhatsApp, thank you so much guys, because for a person who does not have a TV, I get left behind when it comes to a lot of news. Actually, I want to buy a TV this weekend, so I'm behind if things don't happen on my YouTube, or and I'm starting to see that Twitter is better than Facebook, so I'm gonna move to Twitter because there's a lot of news there. And I'm also on what is this nonsense, TikTok. I'm also on TikTok, so we're growing on TikTok. Also, we're growing our channel. So thank you so much for all of those support, guys. Thank you for those who have made the contribution, the commitment to say, I will give 20 rand to this channel. That's what keeps these YouTube channels going. You don't understand. Mainstream media have got sponsors. I've got sponsors. I've got two sponsors here. You have seen Black Heart, the clothing, they sponsor me, and I've got Why Not Technology from Cape Town, that's also sponsoring me. Why Not and Black Thought were here before anything, before monetization. Well, why not was here before monetization, and Black Thought was just here after monetization. Like when I had 1,000 subscribers, those people were here. So those are my people. Those are my people. Never met the founders of
Black
Black Thought,
Heart.
Ukagiso, in Soweto. Just called, emailed, said, my brother, let's sponsor you, let's push what you are doing, we like what you are doing. And that's how. So I'm gonna come up with, also because people are saying, King, can you advertise my business, can you do that? I'm gonna come up with a package. I don't know how to charge people, I don't know what to charge people, so I'm sticking to my guns, Black Heart, and why not technologies. Those are my guys, those are my people. And of course, we've got people also on the side that say, King, let me help you out, let me buy you coffee, let me buy you bread, let me pour petrol, just for motivation. So all of those things is what keeps us as the podcast space alive, unlike the mainstream, because we can't keep quiet when the mainstream people are pushing narratives that are not true. But we can't compete with them also when we don't have the resources. This mic was bought by a guy in the USA. The lights was bought by a guy in Cape Town. So those type of things, they push and motivate us to keep on pushing. Well, okay, there are actually people that are listening and supporting me, so let me not give up. So yeah, without talking too much, thank you so much, guys. Until we meet next time, don't forget to pray. After you pray, stand up, African child, do your best so God can do the rest. Peace in Pan Africanism. I salute you.